Red Sonja issue number 2 from Dynamite Comics. I believe this is a mini series. So I like Red Sonja. I like her as a character. I've been reading a lot of her stuff lately, and I'm trying to actually go back and read like her original stuff when I can. This is also by Dan Abnett. He's a writer, and I haven't read everything he's done, but I've read multiple stuff he's done, and the stuff that I've read, I've enjoyed. So as soon as I saw his name and I saw the Red Sonja name attached, I was like, all right, I want to check it out. I want to see his version of Red Sonja. I will say I'm not all that familiar with the superpowers. I do know that they're old classic characters. I know for sure Captain Future was from, I believe it's Nadar Comics, and he's public domain as far as I know. And I'm guessing the other superpowers are also public domain. The only reason I know this is because I've spent many hours on the comic book public domain Wikipedia page. I'll put a link to that page down in the description below if you guys are interested in just checking it out. It's just, I don't know, I've always been a fan of just going back and just looking up all these classic characters from like the 20s, 30s, 40s, and just, seeing the heroes from that century. Captain Future for sure, I know it came out in 1940s. And you can probably guess that based off of his appearance. Here, I'll show a little image from issue number 1 of our characters, of the superpowers. So we have Vanna, we have Captain Future, we have Mr. Raven, and we have the Sword. Interesting names. And interesting attire, especially from Captain Future. I would say Mr. Raven Mr. Raven and Vanna seem to be the most normal looking ones. The Sword kind of looks like a gold version of Aquaman in a sense. Captain Future just looks weird, but I kind of like that they didn't update his look, that they just kind of stuck with that. But anyways, let's actually get into this. So in this, Red Sonja has been hired by this kingdom to get rid of this sorcerer who's basically plaguing the villagers and stuff like that. And so in the first issue, we have like a pretty cool moment where she's on her way to find the sorcerer, and a bunch of bandits kind of attack her to kind of try to stop her, and she brutally kills them all, while we have the flashbacks of her being hired to do this job. And then it ends with her meeting the superpowers, and she assumes that the superpowers are demons just because of the way they dress, the way they talk, the futuristic abilities that they have. Like, they use technology, and of course Red Sonja in this version has never been to our world, so she has no idea what these technologies are. To her, they're magic, and so she thinks, okay, if these guys are using magic, then they're probably teaming up with the sorcerer that I'm trying to kill. So she attacks them. She basically kicks their butts, which is really surprising. She tricks Mr. Raven and kicks him in the nards to defeat him. She stabs the Sword with the sword. She overpowers Vanna's shield ability, and she slices Captain Future in half. And I'm just kind of like, wow. The last time I did a Red Sonja review, was it the last time or was it the time before? I think the last time was Red Sonja versus Chaos, and then the time before that was Red Sonja Vampirella. And in the Red Sonja Vampirella, I was actually complaining about how they nerfed the hell out of Red Sonja to the point where she was getting beamed by kids. And now this is like the complete opposite, where she destroys a superpower team all on her own. I will say that the new Sonja design is kind of cool. I mean, I say new design, but she's basically the same, except one, she actually looks like a female, which is great, because that was one thing I complained about in Red Sonja versus Chaos, is that Age of Chaos, is that she looked like a dude. And I don't understand this uglification, as I like to call it, that we see in comics, where we're making the women look like men and the men look and act feminine. I don't really want to get too much into that because I try to stay away from those kind of topics. But all I can say is, like, there's nothing wrong with having sexually attractive females and big, strong, muscular dudes. Like, the whole point of comics is to be like a power fantasy. you have your females looking, they're beautiful, they're curvy, they wear outfits that accentuate their beauty. And then you have men who are strong and athletic and muscular and wear outfits that accentuate their their muscles. Like, I don't see what the problem is. And it's kind of like, oh, well, it's, the sexual gaze. It's like, I'm pretty sure that there are women out there that like to see beautiful women. Just like there are dudes out there that like to see beautiful, attractive, muscular dudes. Like, anyways, I'm getting too much into that. But Red Sonja, first off, glad to see she's back to her beautiful self. Second off, they for some reason decide to give her freckles, and you know what? I'm all for that. Like, freckles on Red Sonja, I didn't know I need to have that, but now that I do, like, I want to see the freckles in every single iteration of Red Sonja because yes. So she bisects Captain Future in the last issue, but then Captain Future comes back and basically he kind of explains his power, where he's the chosen vessel of the power infinite. And all Red Sonja did was she simply interrupted his quantum state, but he just recomposed his hypermatter bonds. It's just like sci-fi jargon that whatever. All you need to know is that he's pretty much invincible. So he overpowers her, and they're basically trying to explain to her, hey, like, we're good guys, like, we're just here to kind of like monitor. I don't really even know exactly what the superpowers are. I think they just go to different planet Earths, like different versions of Earth, and then just see if they're ready for something. They kind of explained it a bit, but it just kind of went over my head. Just call me stupid. But basically, they're here, I guess, to monitor and, I don't know, I guess see if this Earth is ready to kind of join the Federation or whatever. I don't know. It's just basically they're just trying to explain that they're good guys and that their stuff is technological based, not magic. But Red Sonja doesn't believe them and instead thinks that they're demons working for the sorcerer. And we basically get multiple pages where they're kind of talking at Red Sonja and then talking to each other about Red Sonja. Meanwhile, Red Sonja is just calling them a bunch of names. Basically, she's just insulting the hell out of them. Anyways, Vanna basically eventually puts her in this dome, and then they take off and they tell her that the dome will break in like 3 hours. So it's just to give them time to leave. But of course, as they leave, a bunch of wolves come, and Red Sonja is without her sword. So Red Sonja sees this as them trying to kill her. Like, but rather than doing it by their hands, they're just gonna trap her and wait for a bunch of hungry wolves to come, and then once the force field breaks, she's weaponless, surrounded by wolves. They'll kill her, eat her, and be done with her. That's what Red Sonja's thinking. Meanwhile, the powers find where this sorcerer's base is. They go to him and basically introduce themselves. So yeah, he's like, my name is Drew Bryan. I am Captain Future. I represent the project, the United Protectors of the Plural Earths. So I guess they're trying to unite all the different Earths to make peace. I guess that's if someone who's read this, if you guys have, maybe you guys can explain this better to me. It's just, I don't know if I'm just tired or what. It's just, I don't really know exactly what it is they want. Just something about they're trying to be peaceful. Meanwhile, Red Sonja's shield eventually breaks, and then we get a cool fight scene where she just goes and destroys all these wolves. At first with her bare hands, and then she finally gets her sword and starts just decapitating all of them and stuff like that. And again, because of what they did, she assumes that they're villains. So she goes to track them down, and eventually she finds the sorcerer's base. And I am not going to spoil what's going to happen, because I want you guys to read it yourself, because this is a good series so far. Like, I have no idea who the superpowers are. I'm not completely sure, as I've said before, about what their mission is, other than something to do with peace and a bunch of different versions of Earth and things like that, and they belong to some kind of group. But I'm still able to follow the story. It's basically the same as every other crossover, especially with Red Sonja. They've been doing a lot of this with Red Sonja. A lot of crossovers. They had the Vampirella. They had the Age of Chaos. They had the superpowers. sure they had probably another one that I'm missing. I'm just talking about in the past like year or two. I'm sure there's way more, like if we go all the way back to the beginning of Red Sonja. But there's been a lot of Red Sonja crossovers, and they're all the same. Where basically Red Sonja meets whoever. She meets Vampirella. She meets the Chaos comic characters. She assumes they're evil. They attack each other. And then I'm going to bet you anything that eventually she's going to realize that these superpowers are actually good guys, and they're going to team up, and they're going to fight the sorcerer and defeat the end. It's kind of the same. So I'm hoping this goes somewhat different and we get something else. But so far, it's the same cliche kind of story, but it's executed well. Like I enjoyed the fight scenes. I find Sonja's character, like I like it. I like her character. I like that she's a badass. I like that she's able to fight even when she gets overpowered. It makes sense. Yeah, it's executed well. It's a cliche story that's executed well, and it has good artwork. So I want to give a shout out to the artist. The artist is Jonathan Lau. I hope I pronounced that name right. I'm terrible when it comes to names, but I enjoyed the artwork. I think the artwork is pretty damn good, especially for a Dynamite comic. It actually kind of reminds me of something I would see out of DC. So yeah, great artwork, well executed story. Even though it's a cliche plot, it's executed well done. I like the characterization of Red Sonja. I don't know who these superpower characters are, but I'm starting to kind of understand their personalities and stuff like that. So it does a good job of that. I kind of wish that maybe there should have been like an introduction, like in the first issue, just like a brief here are what the superpowers are. Like here, you know how like every issue, like usually when you get like number one, they'll kind of introduce, here's our character and here's what they're doing lately. Because apparently the superpowers, I think they had a Dynamite Comics series just a while ago, but I didn't read it, so yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling now, but I've enjoyed this so far. I think it's good. I recommend it. I think it's good artwork, good, well executed story, if somewhat cliche. And I'm interested to see where they go. I'm gonna guess that it's basically she eventually finds out that they're actually good guys and they team up to defeat the sorcerer and save the day. That's my theory. I'm hoping that Dan Abnett pulls something new and a nice little twist. But yeah, like we get cool fight scenes with Red Sonja. That's all I can really ask for. And again, Red Sonja with freckles. I'm digging it. I like it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. Sorry if this isn't the best quality review. This one is kind of rushed. I just finished reading the second issue and I just did a quick recording. And to be honest, I'm still kind of out of it. My health, for anyone who hasn't seen any of my previous videos, my health for the past month has been pretty terrible. So I also don't really have the free time to really focus on these videos. But I hate going weeks without putting anything up. So this is just a quick video. Hopefully things will get better soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyways. If you guys haven't, thank you for watching it this far. And I hope the next video I put up will be more to your liking. But if you guys have any recommendations for comic books, please let me know. Like, I know I've been focusing a lot on manga lately, and that's just because that's what I've been doing in my real life. I've been just reading a lot more manga than comic books, and it's just because I've just finding comics that I actually enjoy, new comics that I actually enjoy is really, really hard. I can go back and do a bunch of retro reviews if you guys want, but sometimes those don't really do well. Like, people like to see like newer stuff. So if you guys have any new comics, modern day comics currently, ongoing or about to come out that you think is going to be real good, that you guys recommend I check out, let me know. If you guys have any manga recommendations, let me know. But man, I hope you guys have a good one. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.